here for the live breakdown. Me and Mr. Carter are going to be breaking down UFC Perth. Say what's up to the people, Mr. Carter.
What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Carter's here. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's go.
Yeah, guys, we are here. UFC Perth. Honestly, we got a lot of bangers on this card. When I honestly really saw this card was put out there, I thought it was going to be one of those cards. Okay, be up at 7 in the morning, be up at 6 in the morning, and watch some fights. That's originally what I thought. But I'm like, man, it's gonna be prime time, baby, for the United States of America. It's gonna start at 4 p.m. That's good for us. We don't have to wake up super early to watch some fights. And I know there was one guy, the one guy that follows the page. Maybe he'll hop in here because he's gonna be at the event. I don't know if you remember last time he followed us. His name was
hmm
Kay. Kame. He's gonna be at the event. If he comes in this chat right now, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna be like, hey, dude. What time is it going to be starting over there? Because it's starting at 4 p.m. over here. What time are you going to have to be at that arena?
I
Because
would think he might be asleep right now if I
yeah,
wasn't,
you're right. He might be knocked out right now because he has to get up to go and watch this.
to go do everything. Yeah,
Actually, no, he won't. He won't be asleep right now. He'd actually be barely waking up. So we'll see if we can catch him up because over there it's the morning over there right now. But yeah,
is it?
guys.
Yeah.
Yes, in morning in Perth. That's why they just did weigh-ins and stuff, and they had the face off because it's kind of morning time over there. But guys, let's get right into this UFC breakdown. UFC Perth. First fight of the night, guys. Two fighters I like a lot, so I feel like I have a good read on this fight. First fight of the night, Loma Luke Bunmi taking on Alexia Thanera. This fight, I'm going to be taking Alexa Thanera. I think she's just going to use a lot of her grappling, a lot of her takedowns to win this fight. She is a really good grappler overall. She went in there and submitted Molly McCann in her last fight where I knew she was going to dominate Molly. I was really high on Thanera last time. Now she's fighting Luke Boomy. Luke Boomy is mainly a Muay Thai fighter that likes to throw some kicks to the body. She tries to mix in some wrestling sometimes because she is very strong for her weight class. But Alexa Thanera, she's not going to deal with any of that. She's very big. In the weigh-in, she looked big. In the face-off, she looked a lot bigger than Loma. And I believe she's going to be able to take Loma down. In this fight, I'm honestly thinking she's going to win this fight by submission. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it for a method of victory. I think Thanera comes in here, takes her down, and honestly just out grapples her and probably wins the fight by submission in that second or third round because Luke Boomy will probably slow down. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I think Alexa Thanera is the pick for me.
On this whole card, there's a lot of the fights that I feel like I have a good read on one of the fighters and not two in or
Uh-huh.
both of the fighters, so I'm really interested to hear your opinion on a lot of these fights because I feel like some of these people that I may not know, you'll be able to give me some
Hmm.
insight on them as if some of the people I'm on, should I if you're on them too and you know the other person, maybe I'll put a little bit more heavy on them or whatever. And so for this one, for example, I don't know the other girl. So
Alexia.
yeah, too much. So I would be on Luke Boone me, but because you just said what you said, I probably would just stay away from it myself. My official pick would be Luke Boone me. I
Hmm.
hope she goes out there and gives her the Luke Boone me.
Yep, that's
Uh,
we liked her a lot because we hit her with the Luke Boone me like.
and the one thing that I was glad we just watched the weigh-ins and all that is you do kind of even when you don't know a fighter, you kind of get a read on from weigh-ins and face-offs and stuff like that of how they act and how they do things and
Yeah,
stuff. And the one thing about the Alexia girl that I didn't like was she
she's a show
was,
off. She's a show
yeah,
off. That's how
not
she
that,
is.
but she just seemed like she was using way too much energy for a weigh-in. I was like, "Is she gonna act like that on the walkout?" And
Wait till she
yeah,
starts twerking. Wait till she starts twerking on the walkout and twerking after she wins the fight.
it's good when you
Yeah.
win, but it's but you know what I mean? Against somebody like Luke Boonme, that's gonna be sharp, that's gonna be
Yeah.
well conditioned, takes it serious, doesn't play that flashy game like she does. Maybe it does benefit her. So that would be the only thing I have to say on that one, really.
I can honestly say if Luke Bunmi stops the takedowns and this fight becomes a standing striking
She's
battle,
gonna
like
win.
she's
Yeah.
gonna win the fight. She's a way better Muay Thai fighter. knows how to fight at a distance. Like her front kicks are really good. Her leg kicks are really good. The one thing that I do believe is that I just think the Daenerys is going to be way too strong for her and take her down. That's the reason why I'm looking at the submission prop. I think that props we're gonna probably get a good price on that because the over 2.5 is a minus 300 because nobody thinks she's going to be able to submit Luke Boomy at this point. But I do, if she gets this fight to the floor, like I do believe she's going to, and use a lot of that grappling for most of the fight. I do see her mixing in a rear naked choke or an arm triangle or maybe even an arm bar from I think she's gonna be on top. So I'm mainly looking at the arm triangle or maybe taking the back of Luke Boomy. So we go look at the props. Well, let's look at the money line right now. Luke Boomy's a plus 195. And you know what we say? First fight of the night, women's fight,
I was
underdog
gonna
seems like
say
they
it too.
you
But
know,
not even just. It's just that it has the recipe for a disaster. It just
yeah, it does.
it's first fight of the night and women's MMA. It's like the two things that we usually tend to like makes us not want to bet it at all. Like
Yeah, so that's the one thing that scares me about Daenerys. Like I I see more I put it this way, I see more paths to victory by Luke Boomy. If you're asking me, more past the victory, like the striking, the maybe like the technical ability on the feet and just the movement. I see Luke Boomy has a lot of like more pass because I think she's gonna be throwing more significant strikes. She's gonna be the one trying to engage in those. But Daenerys, she's takedown or in submit or bust because if she doesn't take her down, like I said, Luke Boomy's probably gonna beat her. But I just think she's legit. I've been watching this girl for a while. I like her grappling, so Daenerys a minus 275. Like I said, the over is a minus 300. So if we go and look at the submission prop, Daenerys by submission is a plus 300. So that if you want a high price tag and you kind of don't want to parlay her, with anybody because, like we just said, recipe for disaster. It has that written all over it because first fight of the night, women's MMA. Something always happens. Like the people make their giant parlays, and the first fight of the night always ruins it. Usually, that's how it usually
Hey, I
goes.
really wonder, and drop it down in the comments if you're watching this later on or if you're with us now. Um, if that's something that happens with you guys as well, like it's something we've been on since like we first started betting on UFC and MMA and stuff like that. Was it's just we always feel like the first fight of the night, it just never goes your way when you bet on it. Like, and so when we say that, that's what we mean by that. And then
Mhm.
and then we have a thing with women's MMA where it's like it could go either way at
Split
any
decisions all the
time.
time.
Yeah, so it's just so crazy with female fighting. So with it being the first fight of the night and women's MMA, that's why we say that. So I just want to know your
Yeah,
guys' opinion. Do you guys feel the same way about the first fight of the night and stuff like that as well? So
yeah. So if we look at the props, like I said, plus 300 by submission, that might be the best way to attack this fight, honestly, because I think Daenerys wins by submission. If you're on the Luke Boonme side, that's already a plus 195. You're already basically getting a plus 200 because Luke Boonme is not going to knock her out, in my opinion. Luke Boonme is not going to submit her because the knockout is a plus 1600. The submission by Luke Boonme is a plus 2000. So she's not. I don't think so. The bookies don't think so that she's going to even finish Alexa Thanera. And Luke Boonme by decision is a plus 275. So you're going to get almost to a plus 300 price tag on that. Honestly, those are the two ways I see this fight going. So it's Luke Boonme by decision plus 275 or Alexia by submission at a plus 300. That's the best way I can see this going. But if you guys like to get a little risky and you think Luke Boonme might get a split decision, Luke Boonme by split decision is a plus 800 because these always has split decision props, especially for women's MMA. You get split decisions all the time. Luke Boonme keeps it close, gets taken down a couple times, gets back up. But honestly, this is probably not a fight I'm gonna like put too much of an investment in. Like if I do, I'll find a parlay piece with her with somebody I'm not too confident in. That's what I tend to do. Like if I have her at a plus two at a minus 235 and I see somebody else at like a minus 230, minus 250 that I'm not too confident in, but I do pick them, I kind of just parlay them
just go
together. Like,
sprinkle a little bit of money on it. Yeah,
yeah, put them together and just something out. But the pick's gonna be Thanera. He's on Luke Boonme, but I see why. First fight of the night, women's MMA. Luke Boonme's a good fighter. She's not like she's trash or anything. She's better than Molly McCann, and she's strong. So if Thanera doesn't get his fight to the floor, I do believe Luke Boonme wins this fight as well. So yeah, but official pick Danera. I do believe she gets it done by submission. That's a plus 300. Next fight, guys. Two fighters that I honestly did not know about until this card came out. I had to go and watch some tape on it. Both these guys, I'm telling you right now, it's like it's exactly what Derek Lewis always says: swing and bang, baby. Like we gonna sit there, they're gonna be sitting there just two heavyweights just jacking it out. That's exactly what's gonna happen. This fight, it's probably a fight I'm probably gonna put together with Luke with Thanera. Like I said, if I found like a two parlay pieces that I'm not too confident in, I'll just put them together. It's Perisic. I'm taking Perisic, but I do believe he gets it knocked out. I do believe he's gonna win this fight by knockout. But Elisha Ellison is honestly he's a really good fight. He's a really good fighter as well. Like when I say a good fighter, this is a heavyweight fight, so it's not going to be like technical abilities. It's going to be these guys just swinging it out, and first one to probably crack the chin is going to end up knocking him out. But I do think Perisic gets this fight done. I think he's going to do it by knockout. Like if I parlay that together, if I take Perisic and Thin Air, two people I'm not too confident in, but if I do believe they win the fight. Put them together, you're gonna get a plus 105 on both of them. If you could put that together for Thanera and Perisic to win by knockout. I mean, Perisic is on the money line. But if we go look at the odds, the under 1.5 is a minus 230. So it seems like the bookies think someone's getting slept in that first round too, which I do believe. I believe someone gets knocked out in that first round. Now I think Perisic's gonna end up getting the knockout. But if Ellison gets a fight done by knockout, I don't honestly, I'm not gonna be surprised either. Perisic by knockout is a minus 140. So you're already getting a minus on the knockout prop for Perisic because it seems like the bookies think that's what's going to happen. And if you go kick Ellison by knockout, you're going to get a plus 250. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think Perisic's gonna win this fight. He's my official pick. I might parlay him and Thanera together because I'm not too confident in either one of them. But I do believe they win the fights. I'll probably take that plus 105 as a parlay piece, probably something small on that parlay. But the bet, honestly, for this fight, two heavyweights that are both not like too high level, like top 10 heavyweights, even top 15. They're just barely making their debuts in the UFC. You might as well take that plus 250 on the underdog to knock him out because someone's going to sleep. If you look at the decision prop, Ellison by decision plus 1600, Perisic by decision plus 1200. So someone's going to get slept in this fight. Most likely, the submission props are like Perisic plus 900 by submission, Ellison by submission plus 1600. So instead of taking that minus 140, which I do believe that's how it's going to happen, I think Perisic knocks him out. But just from a betting perspective, on two lower level heavyweights in the UFC making their debuts together, where someone's going to get knocked out either way, that plus 250 on the underdog to give the knockout seems like the way to go.
So is Perisic a big favorite?
Perisic on the money
Like
line is
just a straight money line?
money line's a minus 230. Ellison's a plus
Wow.
190.
I just don't like it at that price, like you said. Like, I mean, I don't know either of the dudes, just like you had said either, and this is one of those ones that I would
Hmm.
definitely wanted to hear your opinion on. I was glad we just watched the weigh-ins because again, it helps me with some of the people I don't know to just kind of look at them and have an opinion, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. And the one thing that I did feel about uh, Brando, like seeing out of everybody that weighed in today, he seemed like one of the most physical forces. Like
Yeah,
he looked like he was like big, tall. Like he just looked a lot bigger than the dude too, and looked in shape. So
yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't put too much into that. I haven't seen the dudes fight, so it'd be hard to put too much stock into it. But yeah, my official pick would be with you on the Perisic guy. And I would think that he
Yeah.
knocks him out too.
Yeah, and see, like I said, what I'm probably gonna do is Perisic and Alexia together because, like I said, it's two fights and right in two beginning that I'm not super confident in, but I do believe they win. But just from a betting perspective, like I'm not gonna take a minus 140 on a knockout price on Perisic when I don't believe he is even probably for sure to win the fight. Like a minus 140 on a prop, you have to be kind of for sure he's gonna do it to take that kind of thing. And I just think like from just a betting perspective the plus 260 for Ellison by knockout might just be the way to go. Like, just what is it called? Just bet and forget you even make the bet. Like, put something small on it and just forget the bet's even there. And if it wins, it wins. Like, but I'm taking Perisic. I think he's the official pick for that one. Now the next one, Michelle. I think it's, I don't know how to. I'm trying to pronounce her last name. I think it's Montegu or
Montag?
Montag. I
Montag.
think that's what it is. Montag probably, and taking on Luana Carolina. Guys, I'm very high on Montag this fight. I watched her in a PFL. I
Yeah.
watched her in PFL a lot. She's undefeated right now. She has great takedowns. She's very strong. She trained with Kayla Harrison for a little bit
I
when
was
she was in.
wondering that when she weighed in. I was like, she kinda looks like she has that Kayla Harris to her.
She's very
It did. I
strong.
ain't gonna lie. I don't know why that came to mind, but
Yeah, she
but
trained with Kayla a couple times, and she was helping Kayla train for a couple of her fights. She is in Australia, mainly fighting out of those gyms. But when she comes to the United States, I can't remember what gym Kayla's at, but she tends to train there when she is in the United States. But like I said, I watched her a lot on PFL. She usually fights. The reason why she's coming into the UFC is because PFL. She usually fights at 145, like 145, 135. She jumps in between those two.
mhm.
And so she's already naturally a bigger girl. And she has the grappling skills, good takedowns. And one thing about Luana Carolina, this is why I'm kind of high on Michelle Montag this fight. You have a girl that's big, that has grappling skills, usually fights at 145, goes back and forth to 135, 145. She made weight, so she looked like she was in shape. And then you got Luana Carolina that usually fights at 125, and now she's coming up to 135. So you have a lower girl that's usually smaller. Now, I'm not saying Luana Carolina is small because she's a tall girl, but she was making weight at 125 and she was used to fighting at that weight class. Now she's coming up to 135. Some people would say, well,
Is
this is
this
where
her first bantamweight fight?
yeah, she's
Yeah.
coming up to 135, and you have a girl that's bigger than her, that's a better grappler and takedown artist than her, that's coming down. And it seems like you're gonna have the bigger, stronger fighter that is a grappler going up against a girl that tends to be skinny, likes to stay at distance, though that's striking. And Luana's been taken down many times in her UFC career. I've seen many people take her down. Even on the striking numbers, I don't think Luana can even outstrike her. I think the one thing about Montag, she throws like she's one of like those girls that has reckless throwing and pressure to where it's not technical at all, but it kind of reminds me of like Andreas Gustafsson, from the guy that just fought recently against Renat, where it's just relentless pressure coming forward throwing, and she mainly does that because she's trying to mix and get your hands up here so she can just get that double leg and take you down. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think she's going to take down Luana. I think she's going to grind her out, and I honestly do believe she finishes this fight and probably submits Luana as well. So I'm taking Montag, and I do believe she submits her, and I'm more high on Montag than I am on Alexia Thanera. Like, and I do believe she finishes this fight. Look at the price tag, minus 240 for Montag on the money line, plus
Mhm.
200 for Luana Carolina. The over 2.5, where this is the reason why I think it gets finished. The over 2.5 for women's fights are usually the minus 200, minus 250, minus 300, just like the first fight. This one's a minus 155 for the over 2.5. So they're already, the bookies are already kind of seeing like, okay, maybe it might not go to decision. Maybe let's give them a low price tag for the over 2.5, and people say, oh, it's women's fights, and they go over and bet it. I think she submits her. So I'm gonna go look at that submission prop real quick. The submission prop for Montag is a plus 175. That shows a lot. A plus 175 for a submission prop for a female fight. It just shows a lot that they think it's going to happen. It's almost the same exact thing as the decision. The decision prop's a plus 200. The submission prop 175. So it seems like the bookies even think she's going to submit her, take her down. That's what I think is going to happen. And if you want to say that Luana's going to win this fight, the only way Luana wins this fight is going to be by decision, because she doesn't knock girls out ever. She doesn't hit very hard. She's more of a technical, like pity patter type of striking. That's a plus 300. But like I said, I'm very high on Montag this fight. I think she comes in here, gets the takedowns, ends up submitting her. So give me Montag, and I do believe she gets it by submission.
And so, just like I was saying with the other ones, this is one of those ones that, like, I know Luana. I didn't know the other girl, so again, I really wanted your insight on this one. So, hearing with what you just said and stuff, I have one question, and that would be, do you believe Michelle has a high IQ?
Yes, she knows what to do. She knows her
Like,
bread
from what
and
you've seen, you believe she has a good
she knows
IQ?
her yeah,
Yeah.
she knows her bread and butter is her takedowns and her judo and her grappling. She's not gonna sit there
I
and try
mean,
to.
from the line, seems like, and that's why, like I said, I like doing this with you because it gives me some insight. Like you said, the line is definitely leaning her way. Like if I was just random, woke up on a Saturday and wasn't talking with the wager zone, I might just go bet Luana because I don't know better, you know?
Hmm.
And then you see this dog and you're like, well, this a girl in the UFC and this girl is making her debut. What did you mean? Or whatever, you
Hmm.
know? But that's why I like talking to you about these, right? Is I feel like Luana is a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but the one thing I always feel that she does is make mistakes in
Yes.
every fight she fights. And you know me when it comes to people that like they have all the skill in the world, but they just never seem to put it out there. They seem to make dumb decisions in the
Yeah.
ring instead of using the skills that they know. Like if she really wanted to, she might be able to go out there and just outpoint her and stand there and out pity pat her, like you said, if she would just not make a mistake. But I feel like you said is I feel like she will make that mistake, and if this Michelle girl is that favored and she is that good from what you're saying, right, is that most likely she should be able to get her down and basically finish her or win by
Mhm.
decision pretty easily, you know?
Bro, we were just talking about you. What after this is posted? Go in, go in and watch the beginning of the show. First thing I said, I was like, I was KM. I just said K because I couldn't remember the next second part. I was like, KM's gonna be at the show. I was like, he's gonna be there. I was like, what time? I was like, what time is the fight card? No, I'm happy you're here. We'll get into the breakdown again right after I ask you this question. What time is the fight starting in Perth? Because it's going to be here 4 p. It's going to be on at 4 p.m. United States time. So what time is the fight actually starting in Perth? Like what time do you have to be there? I'm guessing what like
And what
7.
time is it right now?
Yeah, what time is it right now over there? I'm guessing it'll probably the fight's gonna start like 8 o'clock. I was gonna say 7 a.m., 8 o'clock. Yes, I was gonna say he gonna wake up early in the morning at like 5 a.m. and be like, "Time to go to the arena, guys. Let's
Hey,
go."
the weigh-ins live, bro, would be lit.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna
But
have
yeah,
a
so
watch.
I'd probably lean your way on that one, you know, just based off take more of your like I said on some of these, I'm going to be more 50-50 and I might lean more your way on them
Mhm.
after I hear your breakdown just because I don't know the other fighter, you know. But I can give you my insight on Luana where I it's like I said she is a good fighter, but I feel like she always seems to make mistakes. And if you feel like the other girl is good enough to capitalize on those mistakes, sounds like a good person to bet. With the
Like, watch.
wager zone, baby.
If you go and look at, if you go look at the people, if you go look at the people that she's lost to before in 2023, she lost to Joanne Wood, or called her Wood. Well, I can't remember her old name, but Joanne Wood, no
That
longer in the
didn't age very well.
no longer in the UFC. She lost to Molly McCann, no longer in the UFC. She lost to Ariana Lipsky, where Lipsky's holding on for dear life to stay in the UFC. Like she's still in the UFC, but she's holding on for dear life. But and if you go like your question too is she a smart fighter? Like is Montague a smart fighter? Let's look at her track record. She has 6 fights in her pro career. 3 of them are in the PFL. 6 fights, 6 submissions in her pro career. She has 12 fights in her amateurs, 8 submissions. So it's she
Sounds like
knows
she's gonna try to
she
submit
she
this
knows her
girl.
bread and butter. She's not gonna stand there and try to swing it out with the girl that she knows the only way she
Montag
wins.
by submission.
I'm talking about submission plus 175. It seems like it's the best bet, but I'm very high on Michelle. I think she wins this fight, and I think she does it pretty easily because I
And if
don't
we're
think
saying the
Caroline.
name wrong, we're sorry, Michelle, but we're going.
Yeah, I think it's
Montag, Montag.
Montague, whatever. Yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's one of those two.
We
Now
believe in you.
the next fight, guys, Kobe Thickness against Josias Musasa. This one, guys, I'm taking an underdog. I'm taking Colby Thickness. I think Thickness is going to come in here. Another fight where I think he's going to take the fight down and get the fight done by submission. I can see 3 submissions in the first like 4 fights of the night. I think Colby Thickness is. going to take down Josiah Musasa. Musasa, well, who was his last fight? I was very disappointed in him his last one. He showed he's a very strong guy that tries to knock people out. That's who Musasa is. He's gonna try to knock you out. But his last fight, he showed he has no grappling whatsoever, like at all. He's like he gets taken down. He's a fish out of water on the floor. Like he just starts flopping around, doesn't know what to do, and he gets submitted. His last fight, he fought against He fought against Carlos Vera. Carlos Vera is a journeyman where Vera lost to Renya Nakamura. He lost to Brad Katona in the Ultimate Fighter. And before that, he fought on Fury FC. He fought a lot of the lower level fighters. And then he goes in there against Musasa. He takes down Musasa in the first round. Musasa's just flopping around. He takes his back, ends up submitting him. And now he's finding a guy that's a better grappler than Carlos Vera. And I think Colby Thickness is honestly a very good underdog spot. I feel like a lot of people are still buying that hype of Musasa because he has that knockout power. And it seems like a lot of people, I hope I don't say this wrong, but it seems like every single time a African fighter that comes out looking very strong, a fighter that's from Africa comes into the UFC, people will start putting their money on them because they're thinking they're going to get the next Francis Ngannou or something. Like people are saying, oh, he's big and strong, and he's one of these African fighters, and he's going to knock him out. I don't see the hype around Musasa. I saw him win the fight by knockout in the Contender Series, and everyone was all over him after that. Then he came into the UFC, made his debut, got taken down right away, and ended up showing he has no grappling whatsoever. There's only one African fighter that reminds me of Francis Ngannou, and that's Ateba Gutierrez. That guy is legit. I've even said he was legit before. But Musasa, I'm not buying the hype. I'm taking the underdog. I think Colby Thickness gets his fight done by submission. The money line on Colby Thickness, a plus 130. He's a plus 130 underdog. Musasa is a minus 150. So I'm already on the underdog spot. I think the underdog wins this fight. The over 2.5 is a minus 110. The under 2.5 is a minus 120. So I want to go look at that submission prop. It's going to be Kobe Thickness by submission is a plus 600. And I think that's a great spot because I think Thickness takes him down and submits him. He's a better grappler than Carlos Vera is. And if he gets him down to the floor, we're going to see the same thing from Musasa. Just sitting there rolling. I know what to do. Thickness is going to take his back and choke him out again. So, and if you think Musasa wins this fight, I think Musasa's knockout or bust. I think if he doesn't knock out Thickness, he's going to end up losing this fight because I think Thickness is going to put more of even if it's on the feet and he doesn't knock him out. Thickness is going to have more of the output. He's going to be the one walking forward, throwing the output, more strikes. And Musasa is going to be sitting there like trying to throw heavy shots. And after the first round, he might even gas out after throwing all the heavy shots. So if you're on Musasa, the only way you take this fight is him by knockout, the plus 190. And I think Thickness gets this fight done by submission at a plus 600. But you never know. Maybe he ground and pounds him, and that's a plus 700. But Thickness will try to get this fight to the floor. And I believe he's going to get this fight to the floor. So give me Thickness. And I think he does it by submission as the first underdog of the day.
You know I like these ones, right? And I know not everybody's bookie offers it and stuff like this, but the one we use does. Can you check what it is for
A double chance?
yeah, like Musasa by KO or Thickness by sub? Like, cause you know how sometimes they have those. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. It just depends. You know. I feel like some fights they offer it. Some fights they don't.
Let me look.
Because if one's plus 190 and the other one's plus something, I feel like it should be like it's going to be less than both of those, but it would cover you on both, you know? And I feel like that is the two-way. Like I don't have a big lean, but um I did like with what you said because it kind of made me go against what I kind of thought, right? When you said that, right? The thing where like people just pick African fighters and stuff
Mm-hmm.
because like to be honest, watching the weigh-ins, when I seen his thing come up and I seen his flag and the thing, I thought that. So I did. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not lying. Like I really like so when you just
Yeah.
said that, it made me think to myself like I did have that thought. So it's like it could be very true what you said, where it's just instinct, where it's like they are very
It's like the same thing when
strong dudes, you know, and they're
yeah,
very
it's like when
they
you
work out different there. They have a different style and all this stuff.
Hmm.
So I do understand where people to back him for. It's just like you said though, but it's hard to compare um, Musasa to a Nagano or a Duplessis or people that are African-born fighters that come from a harder place, and
Hmm.
are fighting in a way different environment.
Yeah, it's the
So
same
I
thing
feel
as
like
when you
that's
watch
kind of
a
why people
fighter.
have that.
Yeah, it's the same thing when you like watch a fighter and you see Magomedov or you see like an Ov or a Ev or something like that. First thing you think is grappler. He's gonna take him down. He's gonna
You
use his wrestling.
automatically think
Yeah,
Khabib. Yeah, no, I get it, and I get it. It's just like I said, it just goes back to human instinct almost that people do that.
they do not have that on this fight. At least on Bovada, they do not
For
have
right
that
now,
for this
yeah.
fight. But like I said, I think he's gonna finish it. Like it's probably gonna be a submission, but I think ground and pound is possible too. So if you want to just take Colby Thickness inside the distance, saves you on both, just in case he does ground and pound finish him. That's a plus 300. You're still getting a great price tag on that, plus 300. So that'll probably be my pick. I'm taking Colby Thickness. I think he gets it done as an underdog spot inside the distance at plus 300. Seems like a good spot as well. But the money line, you're already getting plus money too. So Colby Thickness, first underdog of the night for
I'll
that
probably
fight.
rock with you on that one as well then, with Colby.
Next fight. Jamie Malarkey taking on Rolando Bedoya. This is a very close fight, guys,
I
and
wanted to hear this one.
it's gonna go back and forth. Honestly, I'm on the Jamie Malarkey side. I think Jamie
Ooh.
Malarkey is gonna have more of the output on this one. And the one thing about Jamie Malarkey, he doesn't take punishment very well, but he's fighting a guy in Bedoya that's not gonna probably knock him out. Bedoya doesn't really knock people out as much either. He doesn't hit that hard, and Malarkey is gonna have more of the output. And I think Malarkey has fought the higher level of competition. I think Malarkey is just going to have one thing about Malarkey. When the fight goes to decision, which I believe this fight goes to decision, even the bookies think so, minus 200 for the over 2.5. If a fight goes to decision with Malarkey, he tends to get the decision because he has so much output. He's sitting there throwing a whole bunch and he lands a lot of strikes. And even on price picks, you guys know I did price picks this past week. I'm doing price picks on this one. I took the significant strikes on Malarkey. So I think he's going to land more of the significant strikes. I took the over on his significant strikes. I think Malarkey gets this fight done. It's going to be a competitive fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say it's going to be a landslide or anything. But I want to real quick. I want to go into the people they fought. Oh yeah, and Bedoya is from Peru. Those Peruvian fighters do not get knocked out, so you don't got to worry about Bedoya getting knocked out by Malarkey because these Peruvians can take a shot, man. Let me see. Let's go look at Bedoya. Bedoya lost 3 fights in a row right now. He's lost to Kanan Song. Kanan is it Kanan Song? Is that his name? Yeah, Kanan Song, Jai Herbert, and lost a split decision to Chaos Williams. So he has not won a fight in the UFC yet. He's 0-3 in the UFC. Before that, he fought in FFC where he got a win by Darce choke on a Pablo Duarta that's 10-2. But Duarta, if you look at his record, he's fought the reason why he's 10-2. He fought a guy that's 9-18, 1-3. This one's a decent one, but this is the 2017. He got this one, 6-1. That was a 2017 though. It's a long time ago. So this guy he beat before that, his last actual win, is a guy that has one fight since 2022, and he lost it to Bedoya, and the other ones would be 2021 and beyond, and he fought cans. So look at the fight before that. He fought a guy in FFC called Mauricio Talora. He's 24-25. So it seems like he was beating nobodies all the way until he got to the UFC, and then he gets to the UFC and he's on a 3-fight losing streak right now. And now if we go to Jamie Malarkey has fought Mauricio Huffy. He got knocked out, but come on, it's Mauricio Huffy. If you're gonna stand there and strike with Huffy, it's gonna probably go bad for you. He lost to Nasserat Hasparat. I know you're not the biggest fan of Nasserat, but I like Hasparat. I think he
He's not a
comes.
bad fighter though.
He's decent. He has power. He knocked out Malarkey, and Hasparat has power, so he can knock people out. Last fight before that, he beat John McDessie. Do you remember John McDessie?
I don't think so.
No, so he beat John McDessie before that, and the last fight before that, he lost to Muhammad Naimov. I know you know Muhammad Naimov, right?
Uh-huh.
Naimov is a very strong Tajikistan fighter, and he has decent, really good grappling. I remember that fight. It was so close. Malarkey, you could have said Malarkey won the fight. Malarkey was winning. Nemov takes over and probably wins the split. This is probably a close decision because of the takedown. So he's already just looking at his. And then before that, Francisco Prado, a win against Francisco Prado. Before that, a win against Michael Johnson. Before that, a loss to Jalen Turner. Before that, a win against Kama Worthy. Before that, a loss to Farem Ziev. All those people I just named are better than anybody Bedoya has fought. And he's on a 3-fight losing streak in the UFC. I feel like people are fading Malarkey. And the only reason why this line is so close is I do believe this line, when I first looked at it, I thought Malarkey was going to be like minus 180, maybe minus 190. I'm thinking Malarkey going to be a decent sized favorite because what I always do
especially at home, like
at
a home.
home in your home
Yes. Yeah,
country,
yeah, no, I
I,
get
I
you.
I always look at it. I go and look at the fight. I watch tape and I don't look at the odds yet. And then I look at the odds after because I like to make my own line in my head and then I go and look at the fight odds to see
Yeah,
what
like I just did. That's why I waited until we did this to look at any odds, so I don't
yeah.
know nothing. And I already had my kind of picks before I even know the odds until after I listened to you. You know.
Yeah.
But
So I'm on Malarkey. Like I said, he's a pretty decent size betting perspective at a minus 122. And he's
so it's
probably going to
kind of
win this
like a
fight.
pick 'em right now.
It's almost like a pick 'em at the moment because Bedoya has a plus 102. So it's
So it's
basically
just
like
a
a
slight favorite, just a slight
slight
favorite.
favorite. And I don't think Malarkey knocks him out. Malarkey's a plus 450 to knock him out. I think Malarkey wins this fight by decision. It's a plus 175. If you go look at the Malarkey and over 1.5, if you don't want to sweat those last round and a half, Malarkey and over 1.5 is a plus 110. That seems like the bet already. I don't think Malarkey finishes him in the first round and a half. If he's gonna finish it, it'll probably be late because that's what Malarkey does. He'll put it on you late. So I like that. Jamie Malarkey to win this fight and over 1.5. That's a plus 110. But yeah, I just look at this fight like if you just look at tape, the skill levels almost look identical. That's probably why the line is like this because you look at tape, the skill level looks identical, but you got to look in perspective. Of who are they fighting?
Let me
What
ask you
comp-
this one real important thing, right? Because like I said, this is one of those ones. I know Jamie Mularkey, but I don't know Bedoya, right?
Mhm.
Like I said, there's a lot of these fights on this card for me. But this is one of the ones that I was thinking, especially after weigh-ins, of fading Malarkey just because like the fact that he might be over the hump. You know what I mean? Like he has fought like forever. But this is the one question I'd have for you: is Bedoya a grappler at all? Is he going to take him down? Is he going to grind him out type of finish? Do you think that is possible for Bedoya? If have you seen that at all from him? Like where he could, or is he gonna stand there and strike with Malarkey? You think?
The one thing I've seen from Bedoya, at least in the UFC,
Hmm.
is that he's the type of guy that's going to fight the way the fight is going. Like if Malarkey's trying to stand there and strike with him, he's gonna stand. I'm gonna
He's
strike
gonna
with
strike
Malarkey.
with him.
And if you try to grapple Bedoya, then he might start initiating takedowns. So like he kind of fights the way the fight goes because he's lost to Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert doesn't take anybody down. He tried to sit there and strike with Jai Herbert. He fought with Chaos Williams. He went in there and he lost a split decision to Chaos, but
Did
it's
he
because he
take
sat there.
down Chaos?
Let me look if he took down Chaos. Let me look at that right now. I'll look at the fight stats real quick. UFC. Let me look at the fight stats real
I think
quickly.
that's the biggest factor of this fight, and it's really going to come down to if Jamie Malarkey's really over the hump, in which, like, I don't think he's would be that over the hump. But you get what I mean? Like,
Let me see this. Let me see this. Here is Bedoya. What the heck? Come on. I'm trying to check for you guys real quick. Let me see. I am on the thing, but this is kind of a weird. Let me see. Fight card.
at least you don't got to go to work in an hour, so we're not in
Oh,
no super big.
yeah. Yeah,
We're
I
not
am.
in no super big rush tonight. I don't believe so.
No, I'm chilling at the moment. So let's look at this. Fight stats. He went 0 for 2 on takedowns against Chaos Williams.
Yeah, it's just the thing is I feel like if he can't get him taken down, like if he tries to play the game that Malarkey plays, he's probably gonna lose. And because Malarkey is in his home, like at home advantage, like he's this might be the fight he wins and retires. So I could see that happening, like, and being at home, like
Yeah,
he's one of those dudes that fit like I feel like he thrives off that. So, like, if this was like if Bedoya hadn't lost his other 3 fights, it was his debut, he's fighting Malarkey,
he'd
and it
probably be a big
wasn't
favorite.
at home. Yeah, I you probably think he might win, to be honest, but it's just I don't know, I just think that with everything's leaning towards Malarkey, in my opinion.
Yeah, and now if you think about the finish, he hasn't finished anybody since 2022. That's when he got a Darce choke against that Pablo guy that just been fighting Can. So he finished him, but he got him in a Darce choke. And then his last knockout was in 2021 against a guy in Mauricio Ottawa that's like 25, 24, and 25. So that's the last time he knocked anybody out. So it seems like this fight's going to go
He's
to
not gonna have the
decision.
confidence, Malarkey will have the confidence, especially
Yeah.
being at home.
So yeah, I think Malarkey is the pick. Malarkey by
Yep.
decision at a plus 175 seems like the best bet. But Malarkey on a money line at a minus 122 seems like a good spot as well. Probably not it's not gonna be like a lock or anything, but I got Malarkey. I think Malarkey wins that
Yeah,
fight.
I wouldn't it wouldn't be no confident pick, but I'll definitely lean that way.
Now the next fight, Andre Petrosky fighting the guy that just got a contract about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago on UFC Dana White's Contender Series, which I picked against him, and he won the fight. And I was very surprised when the fight. And he went out there and looked pretty good. He fights out of City Kickboxing and Cameron Rouston. He fights with City Kickboxing. He trains with those guys a lot. He's a very good grappler. That's the one thing. He got the knockout in Dana White's Contender Series because his striking looks like it's a lot levels better. That's the reason why I picked against him and the guy he fought, because I thought he was not going to be able to get the takedowns, and I thought he was going to be able to get outstruck. Comes to the Dana White's Contender Series, his hands look crisp. 1-2's down the middle. He lands a knockout, and it would just look nasty. Like, it was
And
a
he
really
has
good.
good grappling,
And
so
he's already a grappler by heart. So Cam Rouse is taking on Petrosky. I think Petrosky is, I want to say, a more skilled fighter overall, but I can't. I'm picking Cameron Rouston. I think Rouston, honestly, on the feet is a better striker, especially training with City Kickboxing. His kickboxing is getting better and better every single time, and he's a grappler already. Petrosky tries to take him down, he might get submitted. Rouston keeps his fight on the feet. He can pick apart Petrosky because Petrosky is not really a good striker and leaves openings all the time. And Petrosky also gasses out all the time after a round and a half. He has no cardio. At the weigh-ins, he looked like he almost missed weight. He looked sucked up. So that doesn't look good for him at all. Like, they had to get the what is it called? The barrier for him to make weight. And he just sat there looking so scared. Like, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna make it? So he just looked like his body was sucked up. He gasses out already. And I think Rowson, I've seen him go all 3 rounds and still look good. And I don't think Petrosky's going to be able to come in here and out grapple him very easy, like Petrosky tries to do with a lot of people. And if he tries to take him down and hold him down a lot, he is eventually going to probably get submitted because Ralston is a very good grappler. So for this one, I'm taking Cameron Ralston. I do believe he wins this fight. I'm going to say he wins this fight probably by decision. So give me Cameron Rouston. I think he comes here and wins this fight. If you go look at the odds, Cameron Rouston is a plus one. I mean, yeah, plus 155 underdog. Petrosky's a minus 180 favorite. So if I just look at it right now, if I go to probably the decision props, I do believe Rouston gets this fight done by decision. Rouston by decision is a plus 550. Rouston by knockout, the plus 450. So it seems like the bookies are a little bit on Rouston. I do believe he's going to get this fight done by knockout, but I think it's going to go decision. I think it's one of those spots where he's going to try to keep this fight on the feet and then mix in a little bit of his grappling. And Mr. Carter is back. So I
my
just kept
phone
it.
died, sorry.
I just kept the train rolling. I was like, you know what? He'll be back in here.
I was like, "Whoa, I hope it'll let me back in." We're back, guys, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm on Rouston. I think Ralston's going to win this fight by decision, mainly because I believe the first round is going to be close. After that, Petrosi's going to get tired, and then Ralston's going to take over from there. I'm taking him by decision, most likely, because it's a plus 500. I mean, plus 550. That's a great price tag already at a plus 550. Him at an underdog spot at a plus 155. So I'm taking Ralston. That's another underdog for you. And guys, it seems like I am picking all these Australians, but I have a feeling these Australians are going to be kicking this game. I mean, this card.
Petrosky's a really good fighter, but it's just like we were saying with Luana, where it's just like they never really live up to their potential, you know? Where it's like
Mhm.
Petrosky coming in, like everybody thought the dude was gonna be like the next big thing, and he has showed that he's just not that level, you know?
Mhm.
Like he has all the talent, but is just not that really good fighter. So it's like I'm not like I said, I don't know Roaston very well. I don't like I said, this one of those ones that I only know one of the dudes, you know, but it just Petrosky is just hard to bet on. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think I'd ever put my money on Petrosky. I don't know how anybody would, even at a favorite, like ever bet Petrosky unless he's fighting like a can. But it's just this dude's not a can, obviously. So it's like it's probably going to be a tough fight. You know, I could see it probably leaning towards a decision, like you said. You know.
You see, the one thing about Petrosky, out of his last, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of his last 7 fights, I've predicted all of his fights right. So, and I won money on all 7 of his 7 fights.
I
He
think I
fought,
have bet for him and bet against him,
yeah.
so, like, on the
He's
right ways too,
when he
so
yeah, when he fought Jared Mearsharp, that was in 2023. I bet Petrosky because I thought Mearsharp was a little bit over the edge, and I still believe Mearsharp's over there. I think Mearsharp should retire. I think Mearsharp shouldn't be in the UFC anymore, honestly. But he fought against him. He won a split decision. He got tired, and Mearsharp started taking over at the end, and it was a split decision. So just like I think it's gonna happen in this one, he beat him by a split decision. I bet on him that one, so I won money on that one. He fought against Michel Pereira. I took Pereira, and I was like, Pereira's gonna knock him out. Pereira went in there and knocked him out. He fought against Jacob Malkoun, one of my favorite fighters. He kind of reminds me of like a Fussy Hernandez. He takes you down, uses that pressure. I take Malkoun in that one. Malkoun won the fight, knocked him out in the second round. Next fight, he fought Josh Fremd, not in the UFC anymore. So you don't need to talk about that. Not in the UFC anymore. I took Petrosky. He went and beat Josh Fremd. He fought Dylan Budka after that. No longer in the UFC anymore. I took Petrosky. He beat Dylan Budka. Then he
he could
fought.
beat the cans. He could beat the cans. It's
Yeah,
just
then
like I
he
said, like
the only win he actually has is a decent fighter, and I picked him in this fight mainly because I was like, it was Rodolfo Vieira. Rodolfo Vieira, and he's not a top-notch fighter either, but he's a decent fighter. He's probably the best fighter out of everyone I just named. Besides that, besides Michel Pereira and Malkoun, he's probably he's a decent fighter. He went in there. I bet him against Vieira because I was like, the way Petrosi loses these fights is when he fights someone that has more technical striking than him or can out grapple him as well and gets tired just like him. So Rodolfo gets tired just like him. So I was like, oh, this is a fight for Petrosi to win because he's going to get tired too. And that's the one thing Petrosi struggles
he's
with.
gonna be the better tired guy.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
took him in
no, no,
that.
I get that. I get that. That
So
makes sense.
yeah, so I took him in that fight, and then he went out there and fought Edmund Shabazian in his last fight in June. I was all over Shabazian, and that's the reason. That's another guy where he gets tired too, Shabazian. But the one thing, like you just said, who's gonna fight better when they're tired? And Shabazian's gonna fight better when they're tired. They're both gonna be gassed out. So I was
He's
like,
more of a technical and
yeah,
not so heavy puncher like
yeah.
Petrosky. I feel like.
So out of his last 7 fights, I feel like I've had a good read. I predicted all of his last 7 fights. I've won money on every single one of them. So I have a good read on Petrosky fights. And this one, as a underdog spot on Cam Ralston, I feel a lot of people are fading him because they don't really know him. The only way you know Cam Ralston is if you watch Contender Series like I do every single
Yeah.
weekend or every single week. And yeah, I think he's gonna win this fight. So that's another pick for me, another underdog spot.
Cool. Like I said, one that I'll probably end up going with yours with as well, just because, like I said, I wanted to hear your opinion on a lot of these other sides of it. Where I'm definitely not going to bet Petrosky. I would fade him more than anything most of the time, unless it's somebody that I know he can beat. And if you feel like it's somebody that's going to beat him, I'm going to go with that. Because he's a good person to fade, and he's a good person to take against people to fade. So
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. And I know this next one coming up, we like a lot, baby. Woo!
Next fight, guys. My favorite fighter on the card. I remember watching this guy in the
Your
Dana White's
brother.
Contender Series, and he's my brother. I'm just kidding, not really my brother, but his name Navajo Sterling taking on Rodolfo Bellato. I'm on Navajo Sterling. I think Navajo Sterling is gonna knock out Bellato. Bellato can't take a punch. He went in there and he was fighting against Paul Craig his last fight. You guys remember that fight? He was fighting Paul Craig. He was about to beat Paul Craig. He was on top of Paul Craig, landing ground and pound. Right at the end of the round, Paul Craig lands a nasty up kick. That when his knees were on the floor, Paul Craig says, boom. And then what's it called? Rodolfo looks at the ref when he's on his way down, and then he gets knocked, and he just lays down this knocked out. And then he wakes up scared as shit, wakes up, and then he starts trying to grapple with the ref. And the ref's like, no, 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 the fight's over. You're okay. And Rodolfo's sitting there like, what happened? What happened? And then Rodolfo won the fight by disqualification against Paul Craig, where Paul Craig shouldn't even be in the Paul Craig just retired. Let's just talk about that. Paul Craig just retired. So a
Did he?
guy that's not
Yeah.
even in the UFC anymore. And like I said, Rodolfo can't really take a punch. Rodolfo's going to try to get this fight to the floor. But one thing about Navajo Sterling, every single fight, he's getting better takedown defense. He's working with City Kickboxing. One thing those guys know at City Kickboxing is let's stop takedowns. If we can stop takedowns, we can out technical everybody. So Navajo Sterling's been working on his takedowns a lot. The people that are going to be able to take down Navajo Sterling are those big, heavy wrestlers. Rodolfo's not really a wrestler. He's more of like a swing and bang type of guy to shoot a takedown after that. But I just think Navajo Sterling is going to be way too technical for him. Picking him apart on the outside, eventually land that straight right hand out of the pipe when Rodolfo is probably coming in. That's literally how I see it happening. I see Rodolfo trying to come in with like one of those wild shots, like just pressuring, and then it's Navajo Sterling just boop, straight right hand down the pipe and just sleeps him. So I'm taking Navajo Sterling. I do believe he gets it done by knockout. My favorite fighter on the card. He's a minus 250 on the money line. Adolfo Bellato's a plus 210. Under 2.5 is a minus 155. And now let's go look at that knockout prop. That
You
knockout
said how
prop
much is the under 2.5?
minus 155.
It's not a bad one.
Not a bad spot either
That's a good parlay piece.
because if Rodolfo wins this fight, maybe he submits Navajo. We never see Navajo Sterling on his back for a long time, so
Yeah,
you
it'd be
never
a
know.
good parlay piece. And then, like, if you want to parlay that with something, and then also, like, because I mean, that's a fight that I'd probably be pretty heavy on. So I would probably take the under, like you said, and parlay it with something. And then
Hmm.
also that Navajo separately. So then, if for some reason your Navajo bet does lose and the dude gets him, it's probably going to be the under 1.5. And then, so at least you have your parlay piece. And if they both hit, like you said, Navajo knocks him out and Navajo wins, then you have two parlay pieces that cashed for you. So
Yeah. So yeah, that might be a good spot. Navajo Sterling by knockout is a plus 115. You're getting plus money on that. I'm surprised, honestly. This is like the fight that I think should be like a minus 140. Just like the other guy, Perisic is by knockout. But it's a plus 115. You're getting plus money on Navajo Sterling by knockout. Rodolfo by knockout is a plus 600. Rodolfo by submission is a plus 1100, which is kind of crazy, honestly. I think the path of victory for Rodolfo would be submissions. I don't think he's going to be able to knock out Navajo Sterling. If he's going to win this fight, he's going to have to take him down, and you use that. The Rodolfo by decision is a plus 500. So it seems like all those are just big, high numbers, but I don't think Rodolfo wins. I think the best bet for this fight is Navajo Sterling by knockout at plus 115, or use Navajo Sterling as a parlay
parlay
piece.
piece, yeah.
And I think that's probably the best spot.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said on this one. This is probably one of the higher people on the card that I was on this week, where it's like I said, I'm not I wanted to hear, of course, your opinion on Bellato and stuff, because
Hmm.
like I said, I don't know the other side very well. I just know I'm really big on Navajo Sterling. That's your brother. We're gonna keep going for him, keep pushing for him. Um, and yeah, that'd probably be about it on that one. And I like the knockout as well. So
Yeah, I think
I
that
like
most certainly
city
knocks him out.
kickboxing. So and just real quick, something you had said during this one. I just want you to remember for later on in the card what you said about city kickboxing. So just remember that what you had said earlier.
I said they'll out technical
All
everybody.
right, so remember that.
Yeah. So next fight, Tom Nolan taking on Charlie Campbell in the next fight. This fight is another one that's what happened?
This fight it tripped me out so bad because the dude came out and I was like, his name was Charlie Cannibal Campbell. And bro had like crosses tattooed on his eyes, bro. I was like, bro, this dude is wild. Like
Yeah, this fight I might have to. I might honestly. You know what? I might have to send an email to UFC prediction tracker and let them know I'm switching my pick because I was on Charlie Campbell. I was thinking Charlie Campbell's gonna win this fight, but it's such a tough fight. Such a tough fight.
it is
I'm
after
gonna be.
seeing the
I'm
weigh-ins.
taking.
I was picking Tom.
I think I'm gonna take after watching weigh-ins. I think I'm gonna take Tom Nolan. I think Tom Nolan is a very good fighter. The only fight he's lost in the UFC was against Nicholas Mota, where he just got caught. And Mota does that to you. Mota, he's a guy that he's either gonna lose or he's
Catch
just gonna
anybody.
catch you.
He
So
catch anybody.
he knocked out Tom Nolan, and the last fight. If I look at the last fight they've won against, I think this is why I'm basing it a little bit. Is I think honestly, I think the striking is a little bit the same. The striking, technical abilities and the striking abilities they have is almost the same. But Tom Nolan has more knockout power than Charlie Campbell. Charlie Campbell's last fight was against Trevor Peek, and Trevor Peek don't have really technical striking at all. He comes in there just trying to be wild. Charlie Campbell ended up beating him by decision, and it was actually a decent fight. I remember that one. The last fight that Tom Nolan won was against Vladislav Borshev. And Borshev is a technical striker, like a really good striker. The way you beat Borshev is taking him down. And Tom Nolan stood there with
I
him.
think I had Tom Nolan in that fight because we have bet on him before. I
Yeah.
do like the dude. That's why when I seen it and to see, but it's hard to bet against somebody that had Charlie Cannibal Campbell. Like, what is he gonna with his eyes had crosses tattooed on him? I was like, bro, is this dude gonna come out there and just knock Tom Nolan out? Like,
So yeah, this one I do believe someone gets knocked out, but I think I am switching my pick. I think I'm gonna take Tom Nolan just by looking at the weigh-ins, looking a little bit more at who they fought recently. I think Tom Nolan's gonna be the pick, and I think Tom Nolan knocks him out. The money line on Tom Nolan's a minus 147. Charlie Campbell, the money line is a plus 127, so it's not that far off. It's a kind of a close fight. The over 1.5 is a minus 145. The under 1.5 is a plus 110. Tom Nolan by knockout plus 200. Charlie Campbell by knockout plus 300. Charlie Campbell by decision plus 575. Tom Nolan by decision at plus 330. So just looking at the odds and exactly how I look at the fight, if Charlie Campbell doesn't knock out Tom Nolan, he's not going to win this fight. He's knockout or bust, in my opinion. And originally I was thinking, oh, he's going to come in there and knock out Tom Nolan. But looking a little bit more at it, Tom Nolan has the better striking. Tom Nolan's fought the better competition. Tom Nolan
so is that
just
why you were originally on Charlie's you just because you thought he was gonna knock him out?
I thought he would eventually catch his chin and knock him out, but like now I'm just like if Borshev couldn't knock him out and Borshev couldn't land one of those strikes again, that's a very technical striker that's really good at striking. I don't know how Charlie Campbell's going to be able to do it. So this is not a fight I'm confident in at all. As you guys can see, I'm flip flopping. I just changed my pick. So it was originally I was going to come on here and say I got Charlie Campbell, but right now I got Tom Nolan, and I think Tom Nolan's going to knock him out.
Hey, I will tell you one thing though, is for some reason when you do seem to change up and you go against what you originally pick and you switch it up, it usually doesn't go good for you. So I want
Yeah,
you to have that in mind.
but you know why? But this is another thing. Just like you said that. when I went and looked at this fight originally, right? First looked at it, I was like, oh, I think Tom Nolan's gonna win. I watched some tape. I listened to some other people talk about the fight. And then I was like, oh, wait, Charlie Campbell might be a good spot to bet on because I listen to other people. And the one thing I do lose bets on is because I listen to other people instead of going with my original thought, and then I lose. So you know what? I'm just like, I'm going back to my original
No,
thought.
I get you. No, I get you. Like I said, only you know. But
Yeah.
it's just I said my official pick would be Tom Nolan.
Yeah.
I just think he's a good fighter, and has the hometown advantage. All that, you know. It's everything's in his favor for this fight. I feel like, and yeah, let's go Tom Nolan.
Yeah. Let's go Tom Nolan. I really don't
I
have
want
much
to
to
go
say
for
about
the dude with face tattoos. I got face tattoos, you know, and the dude
the
was crazy, and his name was Cannibal. And to be honest, it might be a banger of a fight and a really fight of the night candidate, you know. But
Yeah, that one, I am not gonna lie, that is probably the most competitive, like hard fight to call the whole night. But I'm on Tom Nolan. I think Tom Nolan gets it done by knockout. Not one I'm too confident in. I don't even know if I'm gonna bet Tom Nolan, honestly. Maybe I'll put him in like a long shot parlay because I'm not confident in this one at all. My price probably just be one I just sit there and watch to see how it plays out. But my pick is going to be Tom Nolan. So I gotta send an email to UFC Prediction Checker so we can
that
change that.
was the first, and that
First
was
fight of the
the
main card.
first fight of the main card too, guys. That's gonna go, great way to open up the main card. And all these other ones left on this card, I think that was the last fight that I actually only knew one side, where I
Now for
knew
the rest of
Tom
them, you know both
Nolan.
of them, huh?
I should know almost both guys on the whole rest of the card. I don't know the most about Tavares, but I mean, I've seen.
Mhm. Are you still here, Mr. Carter? Did we lose Mr. Carter again? Did we lose him mid sentence? Did we just lose him mid sentence? I think we lost the mid sentence, guys. So until he gets back here, I'm gonna keep the train rolling. Next fight, second of the main card, Jake Matthews taking on Neil Magny. Guys, this one, I'm on Jake Matthews. I think Jake Matthews is gonna come in here and win this fight pretty easily. I think Neil Magny's over the hump. I've bet against Neil Magny so many times. In his last fight, he was underdog against Alexio dos Santos. I bet Neil Magny that fight. I got it right. I was, you know what? This is a fight that he can come in there and win. But this fight, Jake Matthews is starting to become the Jake Matthews I liked originally. This guy had all the skills in the world to be a great fighter. And eventually, now he's back. Jake Matthews is the guy that I originally thought would be the fighter I thought he was going to be in the beginning. He's never lived up to that potential, but he's still very young. And now he's in his prime. I do believe we're seeing a good Jake Matthews now. A lot of people had him losing his last fight. Oh, we got Mr. Carter back. Oh!
Oh man, technical difficulties tonight, guys.
But yeah, I was just like I said, I was just telling people about how I always liked Jake Matthews. I've been a Jake Matthews fan for a long time, but he never lived up to that potential. But now we're starting to actually get to that point to where Jake Matthews is starting to fight the way I've always thought Jake Matthews would fight. He's starting to look really good. Winning these fights left and right. He's on his way to make a run, and I'm very excited for him to make this run. And he's going against Neil Magny, where I think Neil Magny is over the edge. I think Neil Magny is almost done. He's probably going to he could be a guy that retires soon. I bet against Neil Magny a lot, but his last fight against I think it's Alexio dos Santos, I picked Neil Magny as the underdog. He was my underdog of the night, and Neil Magny went out there and won because I was like, this is a good fight for him. Now I'm looking at it like Jake Matthews is not a good fight for him. Jake can outstrike Neil Magny. Jake can outgrapple Neil Magny. Jake has better cardio than Neil Magny. And I just believe Jake is a really good spot in this card. He's a minus 380 favorite. And it seems like a lot of people are on Jake Matthews. I've seen like people are all over. One thing I do know is that the most bet fighter on this card, before I get into this, the most bet fighter on this whole entire card, which kind of scares me, is either scares me or it's like everyone just sees what I see. 88% of the bets are on Navajo Sterling. So he's the number one bet guy on this whole entire card. Next guy that's behind him is Jake Matthews. And no, next guy behind him is Jack Jenkins. And then the next guy is Jake Matthews. So those are the top three guys that are bet most on this card. But I think Jake Matthews beats Neil Magny everywhere. I think Neil Magny, if this was a younger Neil Magny, like say if this was a younger Neil Magny fighting a younger Jake Matthews, I'd be all over Neil Magny. I'll be like, Jake always makes those mistakes. Jake doesn't have the heart, and Neil Magny's going to put it on him. At this point, Neil Magny's older. He doesn't have that athletic abilities he used to have. He's getting beat by a lot of these young prospects, and Jake Matthews now is starting to become that fighter I've always wanted him to be. So I'm taking Jake Matthews. I think he gets it done probably by decision. Jake Matthews, like I said, money line minus 380 plus 290 on the Neil Magny side. The over 2.5. And like I said, that might be the best bet. That might be the best bet right there, just because it's going to go to decision most likely. Because I don't see him finishing Neil Magny, and if Neil Magny's going to win this fight, I don't see Neil Magny finishing him either. So over 2.5, so minus 150. That looks like a good spot. Also, if you don't know which side you want to pick, but you do believe it goes to decision, over 2.5 minus 150. Jake Matthews by decision a plus 130. Neil Magny by decision, wow, a plus 650. So if you think Neil Magny wins this fight, that plus 650 looks great. So that's a spot right there. Again, plus 650 on Neil Magny by decision. That's the only way he probably wins this fight, because I do not believe he finishes Jake Matthews. But yeah, give me Jake Matthews, and I like Jake Matthews a lot in this spot. Like, I'm a big fan of him. He's finally living up to that potential and showing the fighter he should have been. And he's in his prime, and finding a guy that's out of his prime. So give me Jake Matthews.
See, I got Neil Magny in this one, but it wasn't like one of those ones that like I would be super confident in and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm super heavy on Neil Magny." Like there's definitely better spots to pick on the card. But like
Mhm.
if I had to pick, I'm definitely going to pick Neil Magny, but then after you told me the line, oh yeah, there's no way I would ever bet Jake Matthews against somebody as good as Neil Magny at that price tag. Like it's just there is so many ways for Neil Magny to win this fight. Like he can grapple, he can strike, so it's like that can go both ways for either. I could see it going either way. Like you get, I mean, it's like
Mhm.
I could see Jake Matthews being able to outstrike him. I could see Neil Magny being able to outstrike him. I could see Jake Matthews being able to outgrapple him. I could see Neil Magny being able to outgrapple him. So it could go either way on like it. And so if that's the case, I feel like if it's more to me of a pick 'em fight, then I would be on the bigger dog of Neil Magny. You know.
Okay. Yeah, so you're on Neil Magny. Let me just say something real quick, guys. If you guys have not yet, go become a member at the Buy Me a Coffee. If you guys are watching this right now, later on after it's posted, go become a member at the Buy Me a Coffee. All my Lock of the Day plays are on there. Right now, we are on a 35-15 run for our Lock of the Day plays. For soccer, we are on a 24-5 run for our Lock of the Day for soccer. So go become
Cashing
a
out,
member
baby.
and start cashing out with me on the Lock of the Days. And the only reason why I'm bringing that up because Jake Matthews and Navajo Sterling are my lock of the day plays. If you guys are watching this video, you guys get a free lock of the day for UFC. So if you guys do want a free lock of the day, if it hits, go become a member, because that's why I'm just bringing that up, because Jake Matthews is on my lock of the day parlay. Him and Navajo Sterling, I'm very confident in both of them. Honestly, I am very confident, and I get it. I know the reason why you're betting against Matthews is because Matthews, from our perspective, we're always watching Jake Matthews fight over the years. We always sat there and we
And I
kind of watched
don't
the fights
take Neil
together.
Magny very often either,
Yeah,
so it's like I said, I
I
would
feel like
these
I
are
feel
2
like
dudes I wouldn't bet on very
I
often.
would say I feel like this is more of a fade on Jake Matthews, because he always makes mistakes and he always doesn't show up
And the
sometimes.
money line on
Yeah,
Magny is more than anything, it's just it would be hard to bet Matthews at that like, if it was closer of a fight, I can understand why Matthews is a bigger favorite or whatever, but not at that price tag. That is
yeah.
crazy.
Who is Jake Matthews' last fight? Because I remember he looked so good and he got the submission. Everyone thought he was gonna lose, and he was my underdog of the night. Who did he just fight?
But if that's again, if that's one you're super confident in, it's probably one that I would stay away from betting Neil Magny and just bet that over 2.5, like you said, at a minus 150 to get a good price tag. Not bet either of the fighter because I'm not confident on either side, you know,
Mhm.
and just stick to that. So like, if you guys want to take something like that, that's a good one too. But
Over
for
two and a
his
half looks good too.
especially if you're on the Neil Magny side and you hear somebody like the Wager Zone tell you, um, his lock of the day is Jake Matthews, it makes you second guess yourself. You may want to go take that over 2.5. Make sure cover both sides,
Hopefully, I am not gonna jinx myself on this lock of the day play. But all my since I started the Buy Me a Coffee memberships, all my UFC lock of the days have hit. So I'm undefeated in
No, and
UFC lock of the
I
night.
mean, we
So
say this all
hopefully,
the time. Nothing is 100%
nothing was 100.
in life
Percent
ever, but it's
Yeah.
just if I mean you're confident, man, and you make really good picks, and we cash out over here at the Wager Zone. So
Yeah. So
make
the
sure and
last
like and subscribe.
Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. You guys are here right now. Click that thumbs up, like the video, also subscribe. We're getting into our last 3 fights of the night. Right now, we're talking about Jake Matthews against Neil Magny. Jake Matthews' last 3 fights, he beat Phil Rowe, and I kind of believe Phil Rowe is kind of just like a Neil Magny, like a younger Neil Magny, like almost the same. And he beat Phil Rowe. He beat Francisco Prado. And then he fought. This is the one he was the underdog, my underdog of the night. He fought Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Nuguano, something like that. How you say his last name? He fought
Niguana.
Chitty, and he submitted him in the first round. So it seems like he's on that trajectory, like that he should have been on forever. Like since 2023, he's on a 3 fight win streak. All since 2024, Phil Rowe, Francisco Prado, Chitty Nuguano, and if he beats Neil Magny, I think this is the perfect spot for him, especially being at home. He's going to be fighting a lot. He's never fought at home, so he has to win this fight, in my opinion. So Jake Matthews is the spot for me. Like I said, him and Navajo Sterling are my lock of the day for tomorrow for UFC. If you guys are on the Neil Magny side, like I said, the over 2.5 looks really good. If you want to get yourself on both sides, I do believe it goes to decision. But if you're on the Neil Magny side, you might as well not bet that money line. You might as well go bet that plus 650 by him by decision because he won't finish Jake. Like he's not gonna finish. Jake hasn't really been finished in a long time. So that's a big price tag, honestly. I might put something small on Neil Magny by decision. Like if I
Well,
if
your official pick's gonna be Jake. My official
yeah,
pick will be Neil. But I mean, he's real confident in Jake, which makes me want to bet the over 2.5. If that makes sense. But
I put it this way. People don't like hedging out. People are like, "Oh, hedging out's for babies. You can do no one hedges out." We hedge out over here. Like if Navajo Sterling goes over there, wins that fight, and now I need Jake Matthews to be the guy to win my lock of the day parlay. I'm gonna put a little bit on No Magny by decision. So if he loses by decision, No Magny wins the fight.
magically.
Yeah, if he comes out there and wins the fight by decision, I get my money back most likely because I'm taking that plus 650 price tag as well, just in case. All right, next fight, guys. Jack Jenkins taking on Ramon Tavares. This one, I'm on Jack Jenkins. I like Jack Jenkins a lot in this spot. He just overall more of a technical fighter than Ramon. Ramon hits hard. Don't get me wrong. Ramon hits very hard, and he has a very good he throws very good hooks to the body and hooks up top. He kind of come up top and goes low very well. But Jack Jenkins, the leg kicks, man, are so nasty. And Ramon Tavares is in that boxing stance where he's very heavy on his lead foot. And Jack is gonna have a field day kicking that leg over and over and over. I debated if it was gonna be Jack Jenkins or Jake Matthews in my second leg for that lock of the day parlay. But like I said, I'm very confident in Jack Jenkins for this fight too. I think he's gonna pick apart that lead leg, eventually probably I don't think he's gonna knock out Ramon because I've only seen Ramon knocked out one time, and I was in the contender series against Siri City, and City it was an early stoppage, and Dana White brought Ramon back because he thought it was an early stoppage, and then Ramon went in there and knocked out a guy, won the contract, but then Siri City fought Ramon last time in his last fight. He fought Ramon Tavares in a rematch in the UFC. I thought Siri City won the fight. It came down because it was 1-1 going into that third round. And then that third round, Siri City outstruck him easily. Like I'm talking about out, he pointed him out, just struck him, landed way more shots than he did. But Ramon landed one hook that dropped Siri City, and it wasn't even a drop to where City almost got finished. It was one of those boom, that cracked, popped up, and hit his butt, got right back up, and started putting on him again. Judges gave Ramon the third round, and I'm sitting there as a guy that bet on Siri City, like how did he lose that fight? Just because he got dropped and he started gotten back up and started piecing him up again? Like I
I
don't
think
know
I
how we
was on that other side on that fight too.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I thought he lost his last fight, and now he's fighting a guy that's better than Sirius City, that has more technical ability than Sirius City. And City was piecing up that lead leg too. And now you're taking a guy that's actually broken people's legs with leg kicks, with how hard they are. I think he's gonna have a field day on those legs. He's gonna piece him up, and then after he can't move anymore on his leg, Jack's gonna start putting it on him. And I think Jack can either knock him out or win this fight by decision. So Jack on the money line. Good parlay piece, I think. Jack Jenkins, a minus 285. The over 2.5 is a minus 185. So it seems like they think the fight's gonna go to decision
That's a
because
hard
Ramon
one, though. That's a
because
hard one.
I won't take a minus 185 on over 2.5, honestly. But I like if
I could
anything,
see that one finishing more than the Jake Matthews and Neil Magny one.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I do think so too. Like Jack Jenkins by decision is a plus 140. Jack Jenkins by knockout is a plus 250. If put it this way, if Jack beats up that lead leg, like I do believe he's going to, and with those leg kicks, so Ramon's not going to be able to move as much, Jack is live for the knockout. So Jack, I'm probably going to just pick him. I'm going to say he does it by knockout because if he pieces up that lead leg, he's eventually going to put him away because he's not going to be able to move anymore, and Jack's going to put it on him. But if somehow Ramon Tavares learns about the leg kicks and doesn't is not so heavy in the boxing stance on his lead leg, and he can test some of those kicks, it'll turn into a more technical striking battle back and forth, but Jack is still more a technical striker. Ramon is knockout or bust in this fight. So if you're on the Ramon Tavares side, in my opinion, take him by knockout. It's a plus 900. Plus 900 Ramon by knockout. And that's the way he wins this fight. The only way he wins this fight is by knockout, I believe. He's not going to out technical Jack Jenkins for 3 rounds to win this fight. He's not going to try to take down Jack Jenkins. If anybody's going to get taken down, it's going to be Ramon. And also, Ramon missed weight by 1 pound and he looked sucked up there. He looked like he was just like, nah, he couldn't make. And you know, when fighters miss by 1 pound, that means a lot. That means that they could not get their body to drain a little bit more to get that last pound. It was a bad weight cut. If they miss weight by like 4 or 5 pounds, that means they're like, you know what? I'm not going to risk my health, and I'm just going to miss weight by like
They
four or
just
five pounds
stopped before
and
it
just
got to
stop before
that
I get
point.
there.
But
Ramon
he was
tried,
trying to drain this
yeah,
up. Yeah.
and he just looked bad. And I believe he maybe the cardio is not going to be there as well. And Jack can go
Yeah,
five
for
rounds.
knockout, yeah.
So I think Jack is live for a knockout, but I'm taking Jack Jenkins most likely as a parlay piece, and probably gonna parlay him with Michelle Montag. It's probably gonna be the spot, but probably gonna make that 2 leg parlay.
I like this one better than to parlay with Navajo. They'll probably be my two man, like you said before, where it's like you were between Jake Matthews and Jack uh, Jenkins. Which one?
Mhm.
I would probably put Jack in it for mine. Um, just because, like you said, it's probably Ramon Tavares' knockout or bust, and Jack got a chin, bro. That's why he could take a punch and he can give it. So it's like
Mhm.
if the other dude's knockout or bust, I just don't see how he wins this fight against somebody that can take your hardest punch and probably give it better than you. So it's like, yeah. So I think Jack Jenkins wins this fight any way he wants to, really. And especially, it's like a good fight for him to get his name out there and all this, fan favorite in Perth on the card. Like, it's good for him. So
Yeah.
I'll pick Jack on this one.
Remember, guys, Jack just said in the press conference, do not go bet your rent money on Jack Jenkins. He says, gamble responsible. Call the number if you're gonna go put your rent money on Jack Jenkins. That's what he said.
I'm
But
putting
he
my
said.
rent money on Jack Jenkins.
So next fight, guys, co-main event. Jimmy Crute taking on Ivan Ersland. This fight kind of scares me just because, like, Jimmy Crute is a guy that if he's mentally there, he's gonna show up and win the fight. And Ivan Ersland is going to try to come in here and probably try to bang out with Jimmy Crute and try to knock out Jimmy Crute. But Ivan Ersland can be taken down, and that's what Jimmy Crute's probably going to do. Go in there, take him down. And I say Jimmy Crute submits him. I think Jimmy Crute's going to go in there, take him down, get one of these rear naked chokes. Maybe he likes the arm triangle a lot. If you look at his track record, he uses a lot of those submissions. And I don't think Ivan Ersland can grapple with him at all. But the one thing that scares me about this fight is if Jimmy Crute can't get him down, he might get knocked out because Ivan Ersland hits like a truck, but doesn't have good takedown defense. So I think Jimmy Crute, this is like kind of tailor made for him. Jimmy Crute. One thing about Jimmy Crute is that he comes off very strong. He comes out there, he lands, does really well in that first round. He tries to finish you in that first round. But the one thing that sucks is that from his track record, he gets tired in those second and third rounds. So we've seen in his record right now, let me double check. Is it 2 draws or is it 3 draws? Jimmy Crute has 2 draws because both of them, he wins the first round in the second round. Then the third round comes and he gets 10-8'd. And he's lost 2 of those. He's gotten draws on 2 of those. One to Rodolfo Bellato. He got a majority draw because he won the first 2 rounds, and then the second round he got 10. At the third round he got 10-8'd. Then he got a majority draw against Alonzo Menefield in 2023. He came back, and I honestly, I'm saying this right now. I thought Jimmy Crute beat Rodolfo Bellato. Go and watch that fight. Tell me I'm wrong. He beat Rodolfo Bellato, but I feel like that they gave him a 10-8, which I didn't believe it should have been 10-8, but the judges gave him 10-8. But then he got a draw against Alonzo Menefield, and then he came back and got guillotined in the second round by Alonzo Menefield. But his last fight, he came in against Marcin Prachnio, and he went in there, took him down right away, got the armbar and a nasty armbar, and he finished it. And it seemed like Jimmy Crute felt like, I am back. Like, this is what I needed. Kind of like when Dominick Reyes was on a losing streak. And Dominick Reyes, I said I had to go get my mind right. And that's why Jimmy Crute walked away from the sport in 2023. He retired in 2023 after he lost to Alonzo Menefield. 2 years he took off, came back, and he's like, you know what? I feel like I'm mentally here now. I feel like I'm a better person. I'm ready to fight. And it sucks that he went in there and got a draw against Rodolfo Bellato in a fight I thought he won. You should have saw it. He was sitting there like this, like, I won the fight. Then it said draw, and he looks at him like, again? Like, he's like, again? Really? And then he had a next fight, and then I was all over him against Marcin Prachnio. I thought he was going to go in there, take down Prachnio and submit him, in which he did. He got submitted. And that's why I think he's going to do the Ivan Ersland. I think he's going to take him down, end up submitting Ivan Ersland. So if I go look at that prop, Jimmy Crute's a minus 220. Just that line scares me. Like I said, minus 220, it kind of scares me. Like if it was a minus 180, minus 170, I'd probably be a little bit more confident. But the minus 220 kind of scares me. You get a plus 180 price tag on Ersland. And if we go and look at the prop, wait 1 second. We go look at the prop for submission. Because honestly, I think that the only way I bet this fight is if I go and take a Crute by submission and just like a small wager, because I like Crute a lot. I'm a big fan of him. I think he has all the skills to be a good fighter, but I just need to know if his heart's going to be there. And the reason why I do believe his heart's going to be there for this one is because it's at his home country. He's going to want to put on a show for his fans, and I do believe he's going to get this fight to the floor and end up submitting Ivan Ersland. So Jimmy Crute by submission plus 275. Ivan Ersland by knockout plus 285. So those are the 2 ways I see this fight going. Either Ivan knocks him out and at a plus 285, or Crute finishes his fight by submission at a plus 275. Maybe he even gets a ground and pound finish, because Crute's going to get this fight to the floor, because I don't think he's going to try to sit there and bang with Ivan Ersland. So if he gets this fight to the floor, Jimmy Crute by knockout's a plus 260. If we go look at Jimmy Crute inside the distance, minus 110. That might be the spot, because it saves you from betting that minus 220 price tag, and it also saves you from him ground and pounding, getting a ground and pound finish if you take the submission, or if you take the knockout and he submits him. So inside the distance might be the best spot, Jimmy Crute by minus 110, because if this fight goes to decision, the one thing it tells me is that something went wrong for Jimmy Crute. That's what it tells me. This fight goes to decision. So to me, I think he's going to have to finish this fight to win it. And I believe, honestly, I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done in the first round. I'm taking Jimmy Crute, and I think he does it by submission.
This is one I went back and forth on a lot. I like Jimmy Crute. A lot of us have, you know. I just, everything in my heart tells me that Urslan's just gonna knock him out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just really think that Urslan's gonna knock him out. I don't know why. It just, even watching the weigh-ins, like, even when I seen the fight, like, it reminds me of RoboCop, like the Urslan does. Like, just when he fights those dudes that crumble, he crumbles them. When he fights dudes that are like good enough to bang with them and all this, and I just don't know if Jimmy Crute is like, the fight starts standing up, and I don't know if he's going to be able to withstand, like you said, all that mental stuff and all this stuff, and I get coming back and all that and doing good, but it's like, the one thing you don't want to be is second guessing yourself, or in a weird mental space against somebody like that, you know, against an Urslan that's gonna literally come at you full force, blazing, like no hesitation, no
Mhm.
like all or nothing type of fighter, you know? So it's like that's the thing to me where it's like I just kind of for some reason just feel like Urslan is gonna knock him out. So I'd take the Urslan side on that one. I like how you said like you said it's either Urslan by knockout or Jimmy Crew by sub. You know, that would probably be the two ways, but I'd probably be on the other side than you. You'd have Jimmy Crew by sub. I'd have Urslan by KO.
Yeah, like I said, that money line at -220, I'm just scared of that. Like, I don't like that at all. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
wouldn't parlay that at all. Like, I
Like
wouldn't even
the spot I'm probably gonna be on, honestly, is Crew inside the distance at a -110 and put a small maybe on a +275 by sub because it saves you from the ground and pound finish. So yeah, I'm on Crew, you're on Earthland, and I'm not like getting mad at you at all or like guessing you at all for taking Earthland because it is possible. It is possible. And now, guys, getting to the main event. If before we get to this main event, if you guys are here watching, click that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the page. If you guys have not subscribed to the page, go become a member at the Buy Me a Coffee. The link is going to be in the description of all of my videos. My record is right there as well. Like I said, I believe we're on like a 35-14, 35-15 run. And if you guys like soccer, we've been killing in soccer too. We're on like a 25-5 run. We're killing it in all different lock of day plays. Go become a member at the Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in all my video descriptions. This one, it will not be in, but you know, not this is a live. After this live is over, I will be going to post my actual pick videos. We're on the description. All my bets I will be taking are going to be in there, and my lock of the day plays will be posted on Buy Me a Coffee. So stay tuned to the video I post after this is over of actual all my fight predictions. All right, guys, getting into this main event of the night. Carlos Ulberg taking on Dominick Reyes. A fight I am very excited for. I like both of these guys. I like Dominick Reyes. I like Carlos Ulberg. I bet Carlos Ulberg all the way up, and I've been cashing out on Carlos Ulberg. I even bet on him when he got knocked out by Kennedy and Juku, and I was just like, oh dang. But I like both of these guys a lot. I'm a big fan of both of them. And so far, guys, honestly, I have picked, it's going at it, looking at it, I've picked everybody from Australia. I feel like the Australians are going to have a really good night tonight because I've picked all their fighters. I think all of them are going to win. Like, I think these matchups are made perfectly for the Australian fighters to come in the Perth to win this fight. But the hearts are going to be broken in the main event because I'm going Dominick Reyes. I think Dominick Reyes knocks out Carlos Ulberg. I'm on Dominick Reyes. One thing I said earlier, which he told me to listen, remember what I said. I said that City Kickboxing, if you can't take them down, they can out technical strike everybody. But the one thing about Dominick Reyes, he's a very good striker as well. He's not no slouch on the feet. This man has power. This man has technical abilities as a striking too. And the one thing about Dom can take people down too. People forget that. This man wrestled in high school. This man was a very good wrestler and he's a football player. He's a very athletic guy. So he can probably, maybe we will see Dominic take down Carlos Ulberg. But I just think it's going to be a fight where Dominic is going to land that shot on Ulberg. I can see Ulberg showing his technical abilities right away, leg kicks, landing that jab, and then just like the Krylov fight, where he comes in, Dominic takes a little step back and boom, just cracks it right in his jaw. We've seen Ulberg been knocked out before. We've seen him hurt in like 3 different fights. And no one can actually land that power shot to actually put him away. And Dominic has the technical abilities to land that power shot and land it right on his chin. So I'm taking the underdog. I like Dominic's headspace right now. I like the fight win streak he is on. I feel like Dom is actually back. And if he wins this fight, he gets a title fight most likely after this one. Or he gets the winner of Yuri and Khalil Roundtree, which I'm scared because he might lose that one. But he's going to honestly win this fight, in my opinion. I think Dominick Reyes knocks out Carlos Ulberg. Like I said, I think Carlos Ulberg is going to use that technical striking, probably look good in the first round, maybe half the round. And second round comes, Dominick Reyes just lands that shot and puts him away. But I do believe someone gets knocked out in this fight. Either way, I think it's either going to be Dom getting knocked out or it's going to be Carlos Ulberg getting knocked out. But I'm on the Dominick Reyes side. I think he gets it done. If you go look at the money line, Ulberg is a minus 235 favorite. Dominick Reyes a plus 195. You look at the over unders. I think this is a 5 round fight. The over 2.5 is a plus 110. The under 2.5 is a minus 145. If you go look at the knockout props, I do believe someone gets knocked out either way. So knockout for Carlos Ulberg, a minus 125. If you're on Ulberg, that might be the spot to take, I guess. But I hate props when they're like a minus, unless it's like a for sure thing. And I'm not for sure he knocks out Dominick Reyes, but I feel like it's likely to happen. But if you see Dominick Reyes by knockout, plus 375. That that's the spot if you think Dominick Reyes wins this fight. Because I think honestly, if it goes 5 rounds, like I said, if you don't take a city kickboxer down, they're gonna out technical you. They're gonna win on the points. They're gonna end up winning the points. So the shot for shot, they're gonna end up winning the fight. So if this fight goes to decision, I think Carlos Ulberg wins the fight. If it goes all 5 rounds, Carlos Ulberg's gonna win. Plus 500, Carlos Ulberg by decision. If you don't believe he knocks out Dominick Reyes, but if you think Dominick Reyes wins the way I think he wins, he's gonna have to knock out Carlos Ulberg because he's not gonna win a 5 round fight against Carlos Ulberg and out technical him. Like I know a lot of people believe he beat John Jones back in the day. I'm not one of those people that do believe he beat John Jones. I've watched that fight many times. I still believe John Jones won
I
that
still
fight and it
do.
was slow.
I'm still one of those people that was super big on Dominic Reyes.
It
How
was
he
it was a close fight. It was a close fight, but I do believe John pulled it off. But I don't see Dominic Reyes winning a decision. It's a plus 750 for a reason. They don't think it's gonna happen. I think Dominic Reyes, if he's gonna win this fight, he's gonna have to knock him out. So give me Dominic Reyes. I think he knocks out Carlos Ulberg, and we're gonna see a resurgence of Dominic Reyes being a top 5 fighter in the UFC. So give me him to win the fight, either that money line or that plus 375 on the knockout prop.
Nobody loses in this fight because either way, I'm gonna be a happy camper because
Hmm.
it's cool to see two dudes that you like to see fight. But I have to make a pick for you guys, so I'm gonna go with Ulberg, and I do think Ulberg ends up doing it just because kinda like how you said before, right? Like, I liked what you had said about city kickboxing, but I also think that is the biggest factor, and you know me with the IQ thing and why, like, I like Trevor Whitman so much, and I was betting on their fighters a lot for a minute. It's just the team, right? It's why I
Hmm.
was betting on city kickboxing. It's why you had Kai Kara France,
Hmm.
it's because the team is so well put together, and the thing to me is and maybe I'm just biased because, like I said, the like kind of knowing a little bit more about Dominic Reyes and stuff from being
Hmm.
out here and all. And I told you, like, getting a couple, like, almost inside things a little bit, where it's like getting some. And I have no idea. That was years ago. That was way before he came back and went on his resurgence.
Hmm.
So it's like he could not be doing that anymore. But the thing is that he's just never had the greatest work ethic. And I think the dude is good. I think he's a very talented fighter. I like how he talks. I like how he carries himself, all this shit. But I think he thinks he's better than what he is, and so he doesn't train as hard because of it. And the one thing that I think is going to be the biggest factor in this fight is Ulberg and his team. Ulberg is going to be in better shape than him. Ulberg is going to have a better corner than him, and I think that's what it comes down to. I just think in a striking match when it's going to be a 5 round match, that leans Ulberg, because if
Hmm.
he's going to be the better condition, the younger, the the more technical fighter, I think that would lean him in that. I hope Dominic Reyes goes out there. I hope he goes on this run and knocks him out and is able to go regain and actually get a championship. It would make me so happy to see. I told you this before when he started going on the run. He's going to be able to beat those other dudes that he should have been beating, but this
Hmm.
isn't a dude that I feel like he should beat. Like when it comes to, like you said, just like you said with Yuri and Khalil,
Khalil.
right? I put him up in that echelon of fighters, and I think that he's good enough to be in that echelon of fighters. So if that is the case, I think this is where we learn if Ulberg is really that dude or not, you know? And if he loses, then he'll be that mid-tier fighter, you know? But this is his moment to really in his hometown beat Dominick Reyes and establish yourself as a top 5 fighter and to contend, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'll be taking Ulberg.
I would just to rebuttal your point is I know, as I agree. I believe Dominic Reyes trained very hard, and I feel like his work ethic wasn't that good. But that I'll put it this way: his work ethic was great all the way until he lost to John Jones. And after he lost to John Jones, he kind of lived up. He started saying, "Well, I thought I beat John Jones." He started living off of that instead of
Yeah, no, he
actually.
said it, and I
Yeah.
agree. He's came out and talked about it and
Hmm.
stuff of what he messed up on and why he's came back and been able to do good. It's just there's something in me that still has that inkling like of that Dominic Reyes is still has to be in there somewhere, you know?
Hmm. But yeah, honestly, this is a close fight in my opinion. I think someone's going to go to sleep, but like yeah, you're on Ulberg. I don't see anything wrong with it because I like Ulberg too. I'm not going to be mad if he wins this fight, but I'm on Reyes. I think Reyes wins this fight. I hope he wins. It would be a great story for the UFC for a comeback, but also Ulberg winning the fight would be a great story because now we got a new light heavyweight that is going to be in the mix to fight on
Yeah, I
Kalaev
don't think
for
either of us would be mad either side if either side wins on this one. Like I said,
yeah.
nobody loses in this fight, in my opinion, for as fans, you know.
Yeah. Hey, I probably won't put too much on this fight to be honest. Like I said, I like that
Same.
plus 375, the knockout by Dom. I think that's the only way he wins this
I
fight, so I
like the
kind of like that
Navajo
prop.
and the other two that you said way
Yeah.
better than this fight, you know, for like betting purposes, you know.
Yeah, like if I
Like
had
as
to
a
rank
fan, no, like this is a great fan fight
yeah.
right here.
If
Like
I had to rank my most confident picks on this card, like I said, like the three we're talking about, my most confident picks on this card are probably number one, Jake Matthews. I know you're picking Neil Magny, but my number one most confident is Jake Matthews. Number two, Navajo Sterling, and number three, Jack Jenkins. Like those are my three most confident guys. And like I said, if you guys are here right now, I gave out my lock of the day already. If you guys want to become a member and buy me a coffee and get my lock of the days, we'll see if this pick hits. And if you guys are here for the first time, after that, go become a member because I have got all my lock of the day plays right for UFC so far, so hopefully we keep it going. My lock of the day play. If you guys are here watching this live, I'm gonna give it to you just because I appreciate you guys being here. Lock of the day play is Navajo Sterling parlayed with Jake Matthews. It comes up to like a minus 145. I like that spot a lot, but that's my lock of the night.
and so mine would be basically the same thing that he did, but I would be replacing Jake Matthews with Jack Jenkins, which he likes as well. So I would
Yeah.
be on Jack Jenkins and Navajo Sterling would be my two top ones. And then one other thing with the Ulberg fight that I wanted to add in, just like I said, that I felt like also give Ulberg a little bit of an edge, maybe was, mind you, it is at home, but it's the time difference, right? Is like I do think somebody like Dominic Reyes that you don't see travel very much and don't see do these over their fight cards and stuff, it's gonna be different. And if he isn't as conditioned and isn't up to par, hasn't had the adequate camp like I may think, right? I believe that that 7 a.m. could be affecting, like, the fight, you know? It could be a
I,
factor, you know?
I think so too, but I honestly think it's the opposite. I think Dominic Reyes, he's fighting at his normal prime time. He's normally like in the United States
No,
when
no,
that
no,
fight
I
happens,
get you, I
it's gonna
get
be
you.
prime time for him where he's from. Carlos is gonna be the guy that's fighting in the morning when he's used to fighting prime time and training prime time. Now he's the one that's gonna be fighting at like 11 a.m., 12 p.m. in the afternoon when
But you
Dom is
know,
used
just
to.
because it's 7 p.m. here, it may feel like that your body-wise, but it's still gonna be technically morning there. So it's
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? It's just and I get what you mean because it is gonna be the timing, like your body will technically believe like you're in the United States because in that arena you're not gonna tell no difference, you know?
Like if
But
I'm Dom, I'm not changing up my sleeping schedule. I'm up at nighttime training. I'm going to sleep like regular like time. It's like in the U.S. I'm keeping my clock on U.S. time because the fight's gonna be U.S. time. So I'm not changing my clock at all. I'm keeping it just the right way because my body's gonna feel that way. Carlos Ulberg, I feel like he's the one that's gonna be like, man, I'm not used to fighting at this early in the morning. I go and train at 4 p.m. or like
No,
5
yeah,
p.m. and
so
stuff like
see,
that. So
that's why we're both on different sides. That's how I
yeah,
said you think the other thing, and I think the other thing, where I think it's gonna affect Dominic and you think it's gonna affect Carlos. So I could see why we're both divided on that, you know?
it kind of reminds me of the Bilal and Leon Edwards. I feel like they did him really dirty because remember it was prime time over here in the United States, and Leon Edwards is at home sitting there like, man, I'm fighting at 5 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and Bilal's like, this prime time, baby. This is Chicago time for 5 to 8 p.m. Let's go. Like, so, but yeah, guys, that is our full breakdown of the UFC Perth card. After this video, like I said, I will be posting my video with all my picks there. If you guys haven't yet, click that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe. I'm on my road to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 625. By the end of the year, it's gonna be a hard task, but I'm trying to do it. Let's get me up to 1,000. So if you guys are here, share my page with some of your friends. Let them know we've been cashing out with the Wager Zone. Let them know if they become a member of my Buy Me a Coffee. This guy has a 35-15 run on his lock of the day play, so he has been cashing out. Let him know if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the page. And also, guys, go check out my Cage Warriors video. Go check out my PFL Mana video. Go check out my LFA video. We got 4 cards on tomorrow. So you don't even have to bet all these spots. You guys can go find your good spots on 4 different cards. Just go listen to my videos and become a member. I got lock of the day plays on every single one of those. So if you guys want to start cashing out on some MMA, we got 4 different events tomorrow. So let's cash out, guys. That's our UFC Purse whole live breakdown. And guys, we're gonna be getting out of here right now. Anything else you want to say to the people, Mr. Carter?
That'll be it. Everybody have a great night and enjoy UFC Perth. And thank you guys again. You guys already know the deal. It's Mr. Carter's.
Yeah, real quick, I want to know: are you gonna be free for a live watch along tomorrow, like how we did last time?
I might be. I should be able to.
Okay.
It just depends what I'm doing, but oh yeah, I'll let you know for sure though.
Okay, but tomorrow, guys, on the Wager Zone, we will be having a live watch along. Mr. Carter might join us, and if he doesn't right away, he'll hop on. I'll do the same thing I did last time. I'll get off and I'll get back on with Mr. Carter there. But we will have a live watch along 3 p.m. Pacific time. So we will be on here for the fight. So stay tuned for all that. Let's cash out. Go check out my soccer plays. Go check out the LFA. Go check out PFL and go check out Cage Warriors. There's a lot of videos for you guys to watch, but I really appreciate it. Go like all those videos and become a member. Go get my lock of day plays. Tell a friend. Tell your friend to tell a friend. Tell that friend to tell his cousin. Tell that cousin to go tell his sister. And go tell that sister to tell all of her friends. And go get everybody liking my videos. And all right, guys, I am out of here. And we'll see you guys at UFC Perth tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.